A very good evening to everyone. My name is Vishal and welcome to Power Within It, education platform for psychology aspirants. This is our interview series, Power Insiders Insight. And as you know, we are today going to have wonderful discussion with Michelle Johnson around MPhil in Clinical Psychology from CIP Ranchi. तो आप लोगों ने हमें काफी सारे क्वेश्चंस दिए हैं and we have gone through all the questions and we have made some स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चंस आप सभी के लिए ताकि आप सबकी क्वेरीज उससे आंसर हो जाए। ठीक है, तो स्टार्ट करने से पहले मैं थोड़ा सा मिशेल जी के बारे में आपको बताना चाहूंगा और उसके बाद फिर मैं उनको इनवाइट करूंगा एंड आपके जो भी क्वेश्चंस होंगे हम उनसे बात करेंगे और वो लोग भी जो इस वीडियो को बाद में देख रहे हैं आप भी अपने क्वेश्चंस कमेंट्स में पूछ सकते हैं। मे बी आप लाइव नहीं हैं बट हम उन कमेंट्स का ज़रूर आपको जवाब दे सकते हैं और जो भी आपकी क्वेरीज हैं उनका आंसर कर सकते हैं। ठीक है, तो टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू हैव अ डिस्कशन विद मिशेल जॉनसन। आप सभी की सहूलियत के लिए और सभी का ध्यान रखते हुए आई ट्राई कि इस डिस्कशन का मेन जो मीडियम है लैंग्वेज का वो इंग्लिश रहे so that everyone can attend this without any issue. Okay, so Michelle Johnson, she is currently doing her masters of philosophy in clinical psychology from CIP Ranchi. She has done her MSc in clinical psychology from Christu Jayanti College and her bachelor of arts in psychology from Sadhu Vaswani Mission Mira College. She has cleared her UGC NET exam also in 2020. She is currently working as a trainee in CIP definitely. She has also experience of working as a clinical psychology intern from Kempegowda Institute of Medical Sciences internship and Trivium Education and Gun for Glory Shooting Academy. So she has done a lot of work and she is quite experienced. So I'll request you all the questions that you have shared a lot of questions with us already. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. With that, I would like to invite now Michelle Johnson and we'll start now. So good evening, Michelle.
Good evening.
Good
Thank
evening.
you for the invitation.
Definitely, we are very
Definitely, we
glad
are
to
very
have
glad
you
to have you,
and we are very
and we are
grateful
very
that you
grateful
take
that
your
you take
time
your time
to guide us here. For the audience, if you have any issue with the audio or the video, just let us know in the comments and we'll figure it out. Okay. So, Michelle, we are going to talk about
talk about
MPhil in clinical psychology from CIP Ranchi. And I like to tell you that a lot of questions have come in. Because of the limitations of time, we might not be able to take them all, but we have concised some questions based on the queries of the audience that they wanted to ask you. And we'll start gradually with the all the questions. Right? Shall we start? Yes. So, Michelle, first thing we want to know is that you have just joined CIP Rachi, and how is it like? Are you enjoying the course? Because before getting into MPhil clinical psychology, we have put a lot of hard work. काफी मेहनत जाती है, काफी एक्सपेक्टेशंस होती हैं। तो अभी आपको कैसा लग रहा है? कैसे जा रही है आपकी जर्नी अभी तक की?
It has been quite insightful. A lot of learning has taken place. During the post graduation, we just learn the theory, but after joining an MPhil program, you put those concepts into real practice. You understand the thin line differences between different terms, and you also learn to deal with patients. Different types of patients come and you know how to deal with them. So that is what is the learning that we get from the MPhil program.
So, Michelle,
so Michelle.
we always we are always curious to see that we say that in MPhil clinical psychology training, you get to practice and apply those things. So how is the balance of theory and seeing clients or patients? So I mean, how many hours are we seeing clients? Because we are really curious to know that we are not able to see that. Only people who get into MPhil can see that.
Okay, so I will tell you the schedule that we follow in CIP. So there are various wards. Like we have the male ward. There are three male wards. There are three
Okay.
female wards and three special wards. That is the child ward, the addiction ward, and a psychosocial unit where we do testing and therapy, which is referred from the OPD. So every ward has two OPD days. During those days, we attend the OPD the whole day. It starts around 9:30, 10, and it will go up to 4 o'clock, 5, depending on how many patients come that day. Sometimes it may go up to 7:30 as well, depending on how many patients come. Apart from the OPD, we have 2 days of rounds. One will be the all patient round where we all present our MECs, and each patient has their weekly update. And then we have a consultant round where the consultant of the ward comes, and the disturbed patients or the patients that require special attention, their cases are discussed in detail. And also during these rounds, we get allotted our various work, like
Mm-hmm.
we might get allotted the assessments or the therapies that have to be done on the patients. So
Mm-hmm.
this is what happens mainly, and we spend most of the almost full day with the patient. Then on our free days, like 1 or 2 days in a week, we have a free day. That means we don't have any specific work allotted. We can complete our work. So on those days, every ward has their topic discussion, like a common topic is chosen, and then we discuss on that topic for for
Mm-hmm.
about 1 to 2 hours, and then we can ask questions, and the all the whole team will answer it. Apart from that, we have our academics as well. So that one is the departmental academics that take place. So we learn about psychology, the therapies used, and various other topics. And then we
Mm-hmm.
also have an institutional discussion where we have case discussions that take place. In that, we learn about how to take the case history of the patient, the whole detailed information of the patient, then what testing was done, what were the examinations that were taken place, and also the therapies used. And then again, there's a discussion on that as well. Also, we have regular topic discussions as well as a institutional level. That means you'll have the JRs present there, the clinical psychology trainees, as well as the social work trainees. So we all sit together and we discuss various topics, cases, along with the consultants and the senior residents as well.
Thank you, Michelle, for giving such a detailed answer. Um, as an audience, while I'm listening to you, I think the detail that you shared cleared out a lot of things for us. Okay. Um, it. I also had a question when I was listening to you. I mean, it sounds rigorous. I mean, is that so? Is that really difficult to maintain this kind of schedule?
Yes, it is difficult, at least in the beginning, especially if you are a fresh graduate. To get into a work environment would take a little bit of adjustment, but if you have the passion and the interest in the field, you will definitely put in your efforts to get into the schedule.
बिल्कुल. So Michelle, काफी क्वेश्चंस अभी और आ रहे हैं and I'll try to jump at the main questions that a lot of students have asked, and I'm sure they're curious to know. So one thing they really want to know, because a lot of students are currently preparing for MPhil clinical psychology, whether CIP or related institutes, and CIP is definitely one of the best institutes we have. So first, uh, Asking someone like you who has cleared the exam, could you help us understand what the exam is like, the entrance exam, and how a student can prepare for it?
Sure. So in CIP, there are two rounds. The first one is the MCQ round, where you'll have to. So during my time, we had an OMR sheet that had to be filled up. So there were around 100 questions, I guess. I don't remember. So basic MCQ, and it had about 60 minutes timing for that. So we had to fill in all the details quickly, and we had to complete the test within the time limit. So yes, so when we do about the preparation part, so I would say that continuous and consistent effort has to be put in, because if we don't have
Mm,
consistency, we might lose track of what we have studied. So
mm,
that is one thing that I understood, and also doing a lot of practice for the MCQs is important. So if it is an OMR sheet question paper, you must practice your MCQs with the OMR sheet itself and time yourself based on the exam. And as far as the interview is concerned, the interview that had happened for our batch was, it was like they would just ask random questions based on
mm.
what we have studied in college. So if you have a particular subject, you need to know at least the basics of that subject, and along with the testing, so whatever tests you say, that is what they will ask.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Michelle. So, if I'm preparing for CIP Ranchi, are there some specific things that I should take care of? Like, as Disha is asking right now, uh, are there any specific topics that one needs to focus on? For example, in your experience, if you remember the when you gave the exam, were questions, was there a topic which had a lot of questions in the exam?
Yes. So first, I would like to tell what are the areas that we need to focus for any MPhil exam. So first is research, very important. Statistics
Mm,
as well. Biopsych, cognitive psychology, child psychology, social psychology, psychiatry, and clinical psychology, as well as your therapies.
right.
This is the main topics that come.
Mhm,
Okay, and every year the trend changes, like the main topic of the exam paper changes.
mm,
So for my batch, it was biopsychology that was the main focus of the paper. So many
mm.
questions came from biopsych, and research as well, and statistics. Apart from this, general psychology was there, therapies were there, social psychology, child psychology. uh, yeah, so it keeps on varying, but these topics remains same, only the how many questions come from a particular area will change.
Right, right. Thank you, Michelle. I would like to share with the audience that we have been talking about MPhil clinical psychology from CIP. How's the experience and how you can prepare for the exam and the interview with Michelle Johnson. And she has been very patient and very detailed about our questions that we are asking. So thanks a lot for that, Michelle. And and if you have any questions, the audience, please put them in the comments. We will go through them and we will definitely try to answer them. Okay. Michelle, coming back, I have students always get overwhelmed when they think about the exam because they don't know if they are preparing a topic, they don't know to what depth and extent they should prepare for it. For example, Akash is just asking that in statistics, is it possible that CIP can ask questions from factor analysis, chi-square, regression, or MANOVA? So basically asking to what level they can go, specifically in statistics, because we might have difficulty with that.
Yes. So Statistics, as far as I have noticed, it is very like
Mm,
basic questions come. So it won't be like how UGC net sets the paper. So we don't have
mm,
paragraph questions, but you will have basic questions like calculate the chi-square. Those basic questions that you can solve within a minute. They don't expect you to have a detailed understanding, and always remember that whatever has been studied in graduation and post graduation is what comes for the exam. So statistics is quite basic, along with research as well, not in terms
mm.
of the net paper kind of level, a little lower than that, which can be manageable. You need to know your formulas pretty well to finish the statistics part of it. Research as well, if you can refer to AK Singh's book, you will be able to solve most of the questions. It's very basic questions, like sampling is what one important topic. Different types of research designs, tests that have been used is important. Yeah, and yeah, you can just go through the general psychology books for an overall idea of the entire psychology, and you need not go into real depth of each subject because that much time is
Mm.
also not there, and they don't expect you to know a lot. You need to know the basics very well, and you'll be learning the detailed stuff in the MPhil program.
Ji, ji. Thank you so much. Zainab is asking a very personal question in the sense that she's curious to. Sorry, this is someone else. She's trying to ask how is your current experience with the patients? Are you having any language barriers interacting with them?
Okay, so most patients talk Hindi, so I did
Mm,
not have a problem with that. But when there are issues, when there are tribal patients, to understand their language will be little difficult. But usually they come
mm.
along with someone who speaks Hindi, and that can be helpful. Sometimes we get patients from Bengal, so Bengali is important as well. Yeah, Bengali, Bengali, then the tribal languages, Hindi, and sometimes Bhojpuri as well. With time, you will get used to these languages.
Definitely. So, Michelle, coming back to the exam preparation, there are a lot of students who want to know how was your journey and what kind of books you referred. How did you strategize your preparation? Any tips that you can share with us that can help students, to refer to the books, kind of books, because there are a lot of books and they don't know what we should refer to, and any strategies about, how to start the preparation.
Okay, so honestly, I was very interested in MPhil. So I had a goal right from my graduation itself to do MPhil. So I started preparing in my master's. Yeah, so during the master's years, I used to study a little every day for my MPhil, but I really started for the MPhil proper preparation only after my master's was over. So I would
Mm,
divide my day into two parts. So the first part, I would read a particular chapter, and then the second part, I would do MCQs regarding what I have studied. So whatever I studied in the morning, that same topic I will take Google as many MCQs I can, and practice my MCQs that way. Whatever MCQs went wrong, I read a lot or read more about it. And I also
mm,
maintained a book wherein I wrote specifically the MCQs I did wrong, and the detailed information regarding that. What I've seen is that what you tend to make mistakes in is what comes in the paper, because
mm.
the examiner also knows that where students get confused, and that is where the cutoff is determined. So that is one thing that I used. Also, as I said, CIP was an OMR sheet exam for us, so I practiced
Mm,
the MCQs with the OMR sheet and timed myself, so that I was
okay.
able. This helped me in time management. So during the exam time, I was able to complete the paper much early, and I could
Mm,
go back to the questions where I had doubts and could mark it. And there is no negative marking, so you can attempt all the questions. That is the plus point in CIP exam. um, Apart from that, I refer to Morgan and King, Introduction of Psychology, then Neeraj Ahuja, Short Textbook of Psychiatry, and
mm,
A.K. Singh. These were my three
mm,
main books, and this is what is important for the exams. Apart from this, you can read other books that we had in the post graduation. That is up to you, but these three books are very important for this exam. Then you can also prepare from the net exam papers, the psychology part of it. uh, you can use that for the MCQ part. You can see those questions as well, because sometimes they take those questions or those topics and frame their question paper. Also,
mm,
there was a book by Kaplan, GRE Psychology, the purple color book. The content in that book is very good, along with the MCQs. Also, they have detailed answers, also why a particular answer is correct. So that also helps.
mm,
And that particular book was very helpful, as it gives a summary of the entire chapter. And also,
mm.
I noticed that questions come from that book as well.
Okay.
So net and GRE book is important for MCQs. Yeah,
Mm.
this is what mainly I did.
Thank you, Michelle. It was really very insightful, and I think that will help a lot of students. Um, the point that you made that somehow the examiners also know what the students might have difficulty with. I think it's really, really very important point for us to learn from, that we need to understand where we are weak, which kind of questions and which kind of concepts we are weak, and we need to make a separate diary for that and keep coming to that again and again and again. So I think yes, that's very important, and students will focus on that. A couple of questions, Michelle, do you want to ask you is this: Are the questions, do they ask questions in a conceptual sense? We know that they ask factual questions, direct questions, but are there any conceptual questions also?
Yes, it's a mix of both. You'll have direct questions, and
Mm,
also sometimes they might give you a case,
mm,
like so and so person had this particular issue, diagnose it,
mm,
or you have to identify the brain area that is affected. Like a small, like 1 or 2 line case might
mm.
come.
And Michelle, what can a student do to prepare for these kind of questions? If you can share
Uh,
any tips with us.
your basic concepts have to be clear, and
Yeah.
read a lot of so there are in certain books you get cases, like
Mm,
in Butcher's book you have cases there. Even
mm,
Barlow and Durant have cases over there. So if you read
mm.
that, you'll be able to have an idea of how to diagnose, or how, what can be the issue with the patient.
Right, right. So I'll come back to the audience again, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. Prachi wants to ask, I don't know, Michelle, if that can be answered, but Prachi wants to know what was the last year's cutoff in CIP, if you have any idea about that.
No, sorry, it wasn't shared.
Yeah, okay. I'll just go through if there are any more questions that can be asked from the audience. And if you're watching this right now, you can ask your questions, and I'll try to communicate that with Michelle, and we'll try to answer that.
Okay, there was a
Okay.
question on the interview.
Yes, I'll
Okay,
was coming to that.
okay. So
Ji,
I'll
ji.
tell you about the interview. So, hello. Yeah.
Yes, Michelle, you are audible.
Okay. So, interview, I would say be yourself. Don't try to be someone else. You need to show how you are as a person, so that that is better. And also, whatever you are comfortable with, what you are sure with, is what you're supposed to say in the interview. Because yeah, so if you're not sure about something, don't say it, it will be better for you. Yeah,
Hmm.
and it depends on the interviewer what they ask. Usually they might ask you for what kind, what topic you are ready with, or sometimes they
Hmm.
might just see your mark sheets and ask you what the topic you have studied.
Thank you. So, Michelle, if you could share with us, was there any question difficult in your interview that you know, that you had difficulty with, and how you managed it? I think it will help us to understand if you are having a difficult question or something you don't know in the interview in clinical psychology specifically, then how you can, approach that.
Okay, I don't remember the question that was asked, but it was something
Mhm.
related to the fourth wave psychotherapies, and I did not know about it. So I just said that I will read about it, and right now I don't know. So just as I said, just be yourself.
And thank you, Michelle. I think it's very soothing for us to know that we can do that. Yes, because usually we think that we need to answer every question in the most confident or the most detailed way we know, and we try to do that. So, Michelle, coming to the last part of the questions now. A lot of people are still asking about the books and how you prepared for it. So we have shared that already with you. You can watch the video again, and you will be able to find all the book references and how to prepare for the exam. What kind of questions does the exam involve, and everything, right? And I can see that you guys have asked a lot of questions generally related to clinical psychology, MPhil also. So we will try to answer that separately. Don't worry about that. Uh, Reshma is asking that how much depth should we go into abnormal psychology? Should we read ICD, DSM in detail? And are there any, you know, assessments related questions or medicine related questions that because that is not generally something we focus on at till master's level at least. But should we prepare that for MPhil? Ji.
Okay, there was no medicine related question that had come in the paper. Um, about the depth of the paper, that again depends on the examiner. So last year it was just the post graduation syllabus that had come, basic questions, and they don't expect you to know the whole ICD or DSM in detail, because that is what they will be expecting you to know in your MPhil. So whatever has been taught in post graduation level is what you're supposed to be prepared with the for your MPhil entrance exam. And don't be so anxious, just learn what has been already taught to you, be prepared with that much. And if you have time, if you want to explore, then you can read Fish's clinical psychology book. That will give you a little better score if such questions come. If the level of abnormal psychology is a tougher one, you'll be able to learn from there also.
Ji. Uh, Michelle, a couple of questions that some students have asked before is uh, can IGNOU students apply to CIP? And does it make any difference if they have done it from IGNOU?
I'm not sure about this. You'll have to check it in the website.
Okay, thank you. Another question is from Dimple. She wanted to ask how are the hostel facilities, faculty support, and if there are any things to support students there because someone might have to shift.
Okay. So in the hostel we have single rooms. Um,
Mm.
yeah. Hostel services are good. We have a mess as well, private mess, and single room. There is common bathroom, and we have a hostel warden. There is also a whole group that is set up for hostel facilities. So hostel wise, you will not have any issue. And faculty also is good. They support you in your issues, and they also supervise our cases, and you can learn different things from different faculties.
So, Michelle, I think that will be all for this session. I'm really thankful to you for being so patient and for so cooperative while answering all of our questions. You have given very detailed answers to us, and I think this will be really helpful for all of us who are preparing for MPhil in clinical psychology for CIP Ranchi, considering the exam and the admission is very near. So we are really grateful that you could be with us today and you shared so many informations and insights with us. And I think we have covered all the questions majorly which were asked regarding this session particularly. So I'm really grateful for you. Uh, if you have anything, any advice, any tips in the end to share with us and to guide us.
Yeah, as I said, consistency, being yourself, and always being passionate throughout your journey of MPhil entrance and the preparation, and also in your when you enter MPhil, you need to have these qualities. And all the best for your exams. Hope you all crack it.
And some of might meet you soon too.
Yeah,
Thank you, Michelle, for joining us today and answering our questions. We wish you all the best for your MPhil in clinical psychology, and we wish you all the best for your future endeavors and the task you will be doing after getting your license too.
thank you so much,
And
Vishal.
so this is it for today, guys. And next week we will be having another session. Uh, on the behalf of everyone present there, I am very thankful to Michelle for joining us and uh, guiding us, giving us insights from the institute directly. So we would end here, but we would meet again tomorrow, next week with another session, and we'll ask questions related to MPhil in clinical psychology uh, and the other institutes that are there. With that, whosoever is preparing for CIP Rachi, these are the details that can help you out. If you have any more questions, you can, as always, comment on the video and we'll try to help you out. With that, prepare the best way you can, and the results will be as per your inputs. Even if you, even if the results are not like what you wanted, keep trying. You're not alone. We are there to help you out. And Um, enjoy your life, enjoy psychology, and do good work. See you guys soon. Thank you, Michelle, for being with us today.
Thank you.